or you only go, if you go to Brazil, you're going to risk your life. Went to Brazil, nothing like that happened. Russia, same thing. Western media were obsessive about the Russian people and how unwelcoming they would be and how cold they would be. I went to Russia, had the greatest time in my life because the people of Russia actually wanted to, if anything, counter the negative perceptions and stereotypes that have been peddled by the Western media. And some people will go like, oh, but the Western media, they have legitimate issues and concerns. And the problem here is, and I can't blame the media because they are trying to see the thing or they are trying to process the culture through the Western lens. And that's how they're supposed to, because they don't have the same information as the people on the ground. So let's say America, if there's a mass shooting in America, the rest of the world doesn't believe that if you come to America, you're going to get shot up just walking on the street. The rest of the world has an understanding that America is a lot bigger than Virginia Tech. America is a lot bigger than Sandy Hook. America, is a lot bigger than Columbine. But the Western media goes like, if there is a war happening in one part of the country, then that entire country is a war-torn country. Or if there's crime in certain parts of the country, then crime is happening all over the country. And so, same thing I feel with Qatar, because people, Qatar has, and it has to be said, it has a very, very, very horrible, maybe human rights record, especially when it comes to LGBTQ people. But I don't think they're going to be rounding up gay people in Qatar, because the amount of scrutiny that brings, Qatar doesn't want that kind of attention. So if you're an LGBT person,
so
you're thinking
gay amnesty is what you're saying.
No, the thing is, because
have your flag this week,
because the World Cup brings such global spotlight on a country. It's almost like if you have a friend and your friend doesn't have their life together, they don't shower, they stay in their mom's basement, those are the friends you want hosting parties. You know why? Because they'll clean up. And for me, I believe because of all these legitimate concerns that people are raising, from a purely comedic standpoint, all these problems with Qatar, their human rights record, the corruption, the migrant worker deaths, which are very, very tragic. I believe because of those concerns, actually Qatar is deserving of the World Cup. It's the most deserving country, I think, besides North Korea. I always believe that the World Cup... No, hear me out. I always believe because the World Cup brings such a glare of spotlight on the country, it almost forces the country to look at itself in the mirror and reflect. So if you are a migrant worker in Qatar, because these things have been happening forever, the kafala system that Grant talked about, it has been in existence forever. It's in existence in all the other Gulf and Middle Eastern countries. But because Qatar is hosting the World Cup, the world's media came and started. Because what the media does is they come and they look under every rock. And they force you to either question or deal with the problems in society. So countries like Qatar or countries like North Korea, remember they thrive by isolating themselves from the world. So before Qatar got the World Cup, I think it was the least known of all the Gulf states. But now because of the attention that the World Cup has brought, Qatar has been forced, like your friend who doesn't have their life together, to almost try to make...
Because everybody's coming
exactly,
over.
They're trying to make reforms. Whether those reforms will have a lasting impact or not is debatable, but they have been forced to really look themselves in the mirror because the whole world is looking at them.
Okay, but Joe, I understand what you're saying. Everybody's coming over. That friend's going to take a bath. Whether or not that friend will continue to take baths after the party ends is the question that remains to be seen. We'll be right back. Joe, I feel like the World Cup is a little different than the Olympics in the sense that the World Cup is a singular event, multiple facilities for a singular event. So you're building the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again, all in a region, so that you can have all these games at the same time. Whereas the Olympics is a bunch of different events, a bunch of different stuff. So when the Olympics come and go from an